Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Clan Generator Challenge, where I'm continuing the development of Mangrove Marsh Colony. This is part 2 of the series, so if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I highly encourage watching that first. It'll be linked in the description. Now without further ado, let's get into the rest of the Marshlanders. Elodea is the first of the Marshlanders, but I forgot to record their design with OBS, so I have to use the Clip Studio Paint recording instead. Anyway, Elodea is the oldest of Mangrove Marsh Colony's hunters. She's well respected due to her seniority and is often chosen to lead hunts. He's the mate of Coconut Palm, and the two of them are the parents of Peppervine and Tiger Shark. Despite Coconut Palm being an advisor and not a hunter, they still accompany Elodea on quite a few of his hunts. The two have a very close bond and enjoy spending time together. Similar to its mate, Elodea is a quiet but kind cat who often enjoys solitude. It's no wonder the two get along so well. But while quiet, she's far from meek and often stands up for others when they can't stand up for themselves. When needed, she becomes a fierce, yet still respectful, advocate. They're considered one of the most noble members of the colony. Even though he's not an official advisor, and Serpentfern wanted to become one, but he declined the offer, the other cats look up to him. Elodea is proud of the positive influence they have among the rest of the colony. Seahorse is another hunter of the colony. He's a close friend of Elodea and is mates with fellow hunter Water Oak. Their children, Sea Turtle and Snapping Turtle, were born last year and are now thriving as froglets. He's a proud dad and loves getting to go on patrols with his kids, helping them perfect their hunting skills. But while he's good at teaching, he's rather laid back, especially when it comes to his other duties. He can't stand doing chores and usually has to get pestered by Bald Eagle and Coconut Palm before getting them done. Seahorse is pretty social, unlike a few of the other Marshlanders, but his daughter, Sea Turtle, takes after him in that regard, so the two get along very well. Sometimes he struggles to connect with his son, Snapping Turtle, due to how different they are, but Seahorse is trying his best. Speaking of Seahorse's family, his mate is Water Oak, the colony's most diligent hunter. He's your quintessential, trusty patrol guy, always working hard to sustain his fellow Marshlanders. Water Oak is the brother of Coconut Palm, the father of the aforementioned Sea Turtle and Snapping Turtle, and a good friend of Bald Eagle. He's not as social as his mate, but he's a hardworking contributor to the colony, always doing as much as he can to help. Water Oak is a rather aloof cat and can become stubborn at times, but genuinely cares for his colony. Sometimes he struggles to put his priorities in order and ends up neglecting his family, but just like Seahorse, he's doing his best. Weeping Fig is next, and she's one of my favorite characters. She's a gentle but withdrawn keeper who often struggles to stand up for herself. Her design, based on her namesake, a weeping fig, is also one of my favorites. Weeping fig is a real plant, but it doesn't look super interesting, so instead I ended up taking inspiration from the giant trees and figs that grow from them in the survival game Don't Starve Together. Anyway, Weeping Fig's life is kind of a mess. Her mate recently died, which has taken a pretty big toll on her. Right now, she's trying to figure out her place in the colony. Her role is a keeper, which means that she helps care for the kittens, or tadpoles as the colony calls them. That's not all though. The rest of her duties include maintaining the camp, building dens, and even helping the healers when she can. Weeping Fig is close friends with the colony's other keeper, Pipistrelle, who has been helping her get her life back together. Her family's been doing the best to support her too. Her mother, Serpentfern, and sister, Sea Hibiscus, are always looking for excuses to spend time with Weeping Fig. While we're on the topic of Weeping Fig's support system, here's Pipistrelle, one of her closest friends. Pipistrelle's design is based off of the tricolored bat, formerly known as the Eastern Pipistrelle, which also happens to be her namesake. Her eyesight isn't all that great overall, but she has fantastic night vision. She's usually quiet and very gentle, but can get pretty energetic at times. In fact, she's most active at night. She and Weeping Fig tend to take shifts caring for the tadpoles, while Weeping Fig tends to them during the day. Pipistrelle is all too happy to spend the night with them. As you've likely gathered from what I said about Weeping Fig, Pipistrelle is a lovely, supportive friend. Also, like with Weeping Fig's design process, only part of Pipistrelle's got recorded. Anyway, Pipistrelle is wonderful and amazing, and I would die for it. Now here's Peppervine, son of the aforementioned coconut palm and Elodea, and sibling of Tiger Shark. Peppervine's a shy little guy, but they're working on their confidence. He's a sweetheart with those he trusts, though. Being a scout can be pretty scary, especially considering all the predators in the wetlands, including pythons and gators, but it's an important role. There's been some close calls, but Peppervine's doing a pretty good job with help from their fellow scout and brother, Tiger Shark. Peppervine is good friends with Turtle Dove, and he always gathers cobwebs for her when he goes out on patrol. They're good at small and helpful acts to show others how much they care about them. The last adult marshlander is Tiger Shark. He's kind of a piece of work, but I still love him. He tends to be a bit cold and aggressive, but he's fiercely protective of his sibling, Peppervine, and the majority of his prickly exterior is a defense mechanism. His design is mainly blue-gray, contrasting the warmer tones of the rest of the colony, highlighting how he feels like a bit of an outsider. He really only lets his guard down around his family, especially his brother. Sometimes he'll go out patrolling by himself. Nobody knows where he goes, but Peppervine suspects he's going out to meet someone. They wouldn't tattle on their brother, though. Tiger Shark is probably up to something, but he's not that bad of a guy. The final members of the colony are the two froglets, Sea Turtle and Snapping Turtle, whose parents are Seahorse and Water Oak. These two siblings tend to stick together, and despite being polar opposites, they get along well most of the time. Sea Turtle is social, energetic, and friendly, whereas Snapping Turtle tends to be a little more antisocial and defensive. But he's very smart and is great at teaching. As expected, they bicker a lot. Both inherited Water Oak's competitive streak, and one always seems to be trying to beat the other at something. But it's often in good humor. Neither wants to break apart the relationship they have. These two have a lot of growing to do, and together, they're working on getting through life. As a little bonus, here's the partial design for a scrapped character. Their name was going to be Burmese Python, which is a highly invasive species in the Everglades. I was planning on having them be an intruder of sorts, maybe with an evil plan to take over the colony, but the design didn't really click, and at that point, I had completely lost motivation. I still think the concept is interesting though. And you've gotten to the end of the video. Please let me know if you enjoyed it by giving this video a like and subscribing if you haven't already. If you'd like to see more content like this, please leave a comment down below letting me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching.